Well, the virus has now killed more than 100 people in China, and new cases have been confirmed around the world.
So you don't want to frighten the American public.
France and South Korea have also got evacuation plans.
But you need to prepare for and assume
strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China.
That this is going to be a real serious problem.
France, Australia, Canada, the US, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on.
Health officials are investigating more than 100 possible cases in the U.S.
Germany, a man has contracted the virus.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
Japan, where a bus driver contracted the virus.
Coronavirus has killed more than 100 people there and infected more than 4,500.
We have to prepare for the worst, always, because if you don't and the worst happens.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, welcome back. We've got a lot going on in the scandal. We've got a lot going on in politics. The debate tonight, we're going to get into the debate prep. We'll talk about all that. We also got a number of things with the Chinese Communist Party. One, CNN tries to do a hit on Dr. Yan. We're going to have her on. Also, Liz Yore about the Chinese Communist Party. I don't think it's a hostile takeover, just to say a takeover of the Vatican today. But I want to go back to the scandal. This is very important. Jack Maxey, what do you have for us?
Well, John Roberts released this letter that Tony Bublinsky wrote yesterday, and it's quite an indictment of the Bidens. It's quite an indictment of the process, and I'd like to read it in full for our audience because this is an American patriot from an American patriotic family, and I believe that there are millions of people behind him who are not going to stand for this anymore. My name is Tony Bublinsky. The facts set forth below are true and accurate. They are not any form of domestic or foreign disinformation. Any suggestion to the contrary is false and offensive. I am the recipient of the email published 7 days ago by the New York Post, which showed a copy to Hunter Biden and Rob Walker. The email is genuine. This afternoon, I received a request from the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs and the Senate Committee on Finance requesting all documents relating to my business affairs with the Biden family, as well as various foreign entities and individuals. I have extensive, relevant records and communications. I intend to produce those items to both the committees in the immediate future. I am the grandson of a 37-year Army intelligence officer, the son of a 20-year career Navy officer, and the brother of a 28-year naval aviator. I myself served our country for 4 years and left the Navy as Lieutenant Bublinsky. I held a high-level security clearance and was an instructor for the Naval Nuclear Power Training Command. I take great pride in the time my family and I served this country. I am also not a political person. What few campaign contributions I have made in my life were to Democrats. If the media and big tech companies had done their jobs over the past several weeks, I would be irrelevant in this story. Given my long-standing service and devotion to this great country, I could no longer allow my family's name to be associated or tied to Russian disinformation or implied lies and false narratives dominating the media right now. After leaving the military service, I became an institutional investor, investing extensively around the world and on every continent. What I am outlining is fact. I know it is fact because I lived it. I am the CEO of Sino-Hawk Holdings, which was a partnership between the Chinese operating through CEFC, Chairman Ye, and the Biden family. I was brought into the company to be the CEO by James Gillar and Hunter Biden. The reference to the big guy in the much publicized May 13, 2017 email is in fact a reference to Joseph Biden. The other JB referenced is that in the email is Jim Biden, Joe's brother. Hunter Biden called his dad the big guy or my chairman and frequently asking him for sign-off or advice on various potential deals that we were discussing. I've seen Vice President Biden saying he never talked to Hunter about his business. I've seen firsthand that that's not true because it wasn't just Hunter's business. They said they were putting the Biden family name and its legacy on the line. I realized the Chinese were not really focused on a healthy financial return on investment. They were looking at this as a political or influence investment. Once I realized that Hunter wanted to use the company as his personal piggy bank by just taking money out of it as soon as it came from the Chinese, I took steps to prevent that from happening. The Johnson report connected some dots in a way that shocked me. It made me realize, here's key, because you cannot trust them. Even if you're in business with the Bidens, you can't trust them. The Johnson report connected some dots in a way that shocked me. It made me realize that the Bidens had gone behind my back and gotten paid millions of dollars from the Communist Chinese, even though they told me they hadn't and wouldn't do that to their partners. I would ask the Biden family to address the American people and outline the facts so I can go back to being irrelevant, and so I am not put in the position to have to answer those questions for them. I don't have a political axe to grind. I just saw behind the Biden curtain, and I grew concerned with what I saw. The Biden family aggressively leveraged the Biden family name to make millions of dollars from foreign entities, even though some were from communist-controlled China. God bless America.
Where is that on CNN right now? Where is that on MSNBC? Stephanie Ruhle, you're supposed to be such a great financial expert. Why was that not up there in your entire show going through that? Why is outside the Biden house right now 100 reporters saying, "Hey Joe, not what flavor of the milkshake." And by the way, isn't it random? Remember, there are no Bannon's dictum. There are no conspiracies, but there are also no coincidences. Why was Biden out with the other granddaughter on Sunday? Oh, let's go get a milkshake. Here's the press's tough questions. 5 days into this, what flavor? What flavor are you getting? That is a day that's going to live in infamy for our media. Right here, it's Sino-Hawk is the joint venture. And by the way, that's the most damning thing. Leslie Stahl. I got a thing for 60 Minutes. Why don't we go and do a 60 Minutes on this Sunday night, on the weekend before 10 days before the election? This right there, he gave you both barrels right between the eyes. All the lies of Joe Biden. So Ramaswamy, how brutal is that declaration, is that affidavit signed by the guy who was essentially the CEO of the company?
I think it's devastating. And to address Jill Biden's point, yeah, sure, it's about, for me, the whole election is about the American family. And remember, Steve, Joe Biden bragged about 25 hours of one-on-one meetings with Xi Jinping. And during those meetings, the American people were certainly not at the table. They were on the menu. And this Bobulinski statement just corroborates that. And for the last 25 years, and this is what the American people rejected in 2016, they were, America was fed neoliberal crack and neocon alcohol. And the whole nation spent 25 years in this hangover. And we're just getting over it. And I don't think majority of American people want to go back to that. And as Jack said, it's time for decoupling. It's time for declaring our independence from the Chinese Communist Party and their infiltration and influence of every high-level American academic institution,
yes,
bureaucratic institution, and corporate institution.
What Bobulinski's talking about is Sino-Hawk, which is a joint venture with one of the most corrupt companies. It's in receivership now. It's bankrupt. Remember, also, do not forget the fact that this is all blood money taken from from Lao Beijing.
Your boy's
old
on TV.
100 names. Who's
Frank Luntz?
Frank Luntz is on TV.
He's on the television behind you.
Is he actually being interviewed about that?
No, they're doing a whole segment about how he called the Trump campaign the worst campaign ever. Sorry to jump in there, but I think given what was revealed yesterday,
well, let's before we get to Luntz, because I do want to get into that.
Yeah,
the media is now going to Luntz and talking about him trashing the Trump campaign. Why are they not? And what is it going to take to force them, MSNBC and CNN, to actually not cover this up as saying it's from Russia? That's a joke. But what is it going to take to actually cover, for them to have a anchor read that statement on air?
Well, here's somebody whose credibility is going to be increasingly damaged by this as well. Terence Samuels. You know who that is? That would be NPR's managing editor for news, the Office of the Public Editor, who said this, issued this statement just about an hour ago. Quote, "We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories, and we don't want to waste the listeners' and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions." He was saying that about this specific issue, about Biden, about corruption, about Burisma, about Sino-Hawk, about Bobulinski, and everything that's coming out. He's calling it a pure distraction. And CNN has been focused on what they call Obama's blistering speech yesterday, which he gave to about 100 people parked in a parking lot, right? So
talk about a guy that went from star power to lost a little bit of heat.
Well, you asked the question,
yep.
What is going to make these people focus on it? What is going to make this story? And I think they're kind of goading us at the moment and saying, if you've got something, release it. And I don't think they quite realize how much is there. What kind of I mean, if you thought the New York Post story from last week broke the internet, if you thought that, Axios pulls out, hey, it was the #1 story despite the censorship, if you thought that hit a lot of impressions, the stuff that's left to come out is going to make that look like nothing.
It'll melt the internet. Before we're going to time to come back to this. We still have Liz Yore because I know she's under time pressure. Can we bring in Liz Yore? Liz, first off, you're one of the top prosecutors on a child exploitation. Just from what you've heard, the requirements of going forward, are you pretty? Tell me what you think. The FBI's had this, and Jack Posobiec of One America is reporting he's seen it. It's got 40 to 50 images. How can the FBI justify having this for 10 months, given the fact that there was a child that was involved here?
There's no justification for that. Steve, I was the general counsel of DCFS in Illinois, one of the largest child welfare agencies. When a child was at risk with a crack addict, we moved with dispatch because crack addicts are the most dangerous, risky, hostile, violent, sexually impulsive around children. The fact that they did not move on this is just unconscionable. These children were in imminent danger. They should have been immediately investigated by the FBI, child welfare, and the fact that they didn't is just Jill Biden, who says we're not interested in these kinds of things, the suburban moms are very concerned about online sexual predators who are grooming their children and sexually exploiting their children. This is an issue that hits home. And from these emails and pictures, which I haven't seen yet, but these pictures, this is the window into the Biden family. And, there's hundreds, if not thousands of grandmothers in the inner city, in the suburbs, who are heroes, who pick up the phone, call the hotline on their own children who are crack addicts because they are concerned about their grandchildren. And they're watching this story and saying, well, I protected my grandchildren. Why didn't they? And so to me, this is a story that hits home. It's unconscionable, and it's one that the Biden family is going to have to answer. And by the way, that text between Joe and Hunter, I have never seen a more blasé, unemotional. This is, I was texting nude with girls and smoking my crack pipe. I mean, to me, I was just shocked by the level of just ordinary, this is life in the Biden family. And so,
hang on for a second. You got to jump. I know you got a hard out. We're going to get you back later to talk about the Vatican. I want you to quickly, we got about a minute. I want you to walk through your bona fides. You know this area. You're a pro. Walk us through quickly. When we talk to you about this, what are your bona fides, your expertise?
Well, I was general counsel of the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. I was general counsel at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the main clearinghouse for missing kids. I also founded there at the National Center the Cyber Tip Line, which is the very tip line that the Bidens and the FBI should have called and should have investigated. And I was also Oprah Winfrey's child advocate for 6 years and investigated her own child sex problems that happened at the school in South Africa. So I've had 30 years of experience of child exploitation, investigating child pornography, and then doing something about it, and knowing why we need the involvement of not only law enforcement, but parents and families. This is a situation that should never have happened.
Liz, we're going to get you back on to talk about the Vatican. I appreciate it. I know you got a heart out. Liz, you're one of the most remarkable women in this country. I'm blown away every time. Great love of the church, great love of our country, and great love of children to protect them. We'll be back in a moment.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra-soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Feel like you live a lot of your life online? The average person is connected almost 7 hours a day. And all that shopping, banking, browsing, and sharing could mean exposing your personal information. In fact, 64% of adults admit to risking online privacy for convenience. Is it any wonder that 26% of people had malware on one of their devices? Or that there's a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds? Your digital life may be in lots of places, but there's one place to help keep it safe. Norton 360 with LifeLock. With security to help block hackers from your devices, a VPN to help keep your online activity private, and LifeLock identity theft protection. Now, you can get up to 25% off your first year of Norton 360 with LifeLock with promo code TV offer. Call to start your membership or visit lifelock.com/TV offer.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Has Frank Luntz been back on? I'm asking information. Has he been back on Twitter since he got? Is he?
Yeah, he just tweeted 2 minutes ago.
Just tweeted CNN defense of his. Wait, hey, when he goes off on the campaign, those guys are under enough pressure, right? If you got advice, pick the phone up. You know who's there. Pick the phone. They rolled you into the Oval with Karl Rove and these other guys a while ago, right? If you have a complaint, pick the phone up and call somebody or text somebody or email somebody. Don't make a big deal about saying they're the worst campaign in the world and they don't know what they're doing and Trump's got his head up. Don't. That's in with 12 days ago, whatever the pressure. These guys are working 22 men and women are working 22 hours a day, and the campaign's fine. The problem with the campaign, I'll be the first to say it. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to volunteer back in June. That will all be gotten to. Plouffe said there's going to be investigations after investigation, but how Donald Trump went around and raised all this money and there's no cash and that could be a big deal when we get down to the end. Yes. But we know there's no cash.
Many people are asking, what's the Frank Luntz story?
Right.
Let's go ahead.
Up
Yeah,
to speed.
So
you must go to our to Twitter, folks, new audience.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, our most retweeted.
I'll tell you, Frank Luntz has gone out of his way to dump on the Trump campaign, and we're a little protective. Bill Stepping's a great ground game guy, and of course, 3 of our War Room alumni, Jason Miller, who used to sit right here, Greg Manns, who was before Jack bumped him when Jack was a big star. Greg Manns ran the operation of the War Room, and of course the Steve Cortez, I think, is the best guy, the best communications guy they've got. Those three are kind of over there in the strategy and comm side. We think the campaign's doing fine. Hey, remember, at the end of the day, it is Donald Trump, right? He's going to do what he's going to do. So Frank Luntz went out of his way, I think, to disparage the people on the campaign, their overall campaign, and we don't need that right now. You're in a knife fight, right? We don't need that. That either pick the phone up, give some guys some heads up, and or, the president will take your call. Give the president, you don't need to say he's got his head. That's just you trying to grandstand for the left in a very tough situation. We've got to win this. And so, since the hard drive is full of, and there's lots more where that came from, we just decided we'd give a highlight reel of Frank Luntz and what he's really like, Jack Maxey and Vish Burra and Raheem Kassam.
It's a shot across the board for the rest of these media personalities who are trying to talk smack, because all will be revealed, peeps.
Should we put the email up on the screen?
Yeah. Can we get the tweet up or the email? From the tweet?
So we tweeted. It's going up now. We tweeted this yesterday from the @WarRoomPandemic account. If you're not following it, make sure you're following it. You'll get a lot more of these. Okay, so it's a Frank Luntz email to Hunter Biden, and it's dated October the 31st, 2012, 5:56 a.m. And it's a reply to an email that Hunter had actually sent to Frank Luntz. Now, Luntz is told by Hunter earlier on that day, I love you, Bo loves you, but how can you go on TV and not mention the Jeep ad? Just in fairness, moving Jeep to China, that's not worth talking about as one of the most outright fabrications ever paid for on television. Again, think you are smarter than anyone in politics, but if you are doing a piece on ads in the last days, leaving that one out is just ... And then Frank Luntz replies and he says, because your dad hasn't said one word to me since the moment he was nominated for VP. Zero, zip, nothing. That's why fair weather friends get fair weather treatment. And Bo knows I feel this way. That's not how I treat anyone in politics or in life. And by the way, I declared your dad the winner of his debate against Paul Ryan, even though Ryan is an actual current client.
Could you read that last sentence again? Because I just was a little confusing.
Ouch.
It was a little confusing.
And by the way, I declared your dad the winner of his debate against Paul Ryan, even though Ryan is an actual current client. So,
and that was the day when
apparently you can just purchase an outcome from these people.
I promise you, signal, not noise. Just a little noise, but it was necessary. Remember, back in the day when he did that debate was a big deal, right? Paul Ryan had to win. This was going to prop up the Romney ticket. Let's go to debate. We're talking about debates. Let's go to debates tonight. Ramaswamy, the betting line has been President Trump was too aggressive, cut off Biden too much, showed his true colors. He's a bully. Although you've got stories coming out today, and there's another prominent African-American that's coming out today saying, hey, Trump's getting traction with not just Hispanic males, but black males, because they like his aggressiveness, they like his command presence, they like what he has to say about economic nationalism, and whether it's Charlemagne the God, Cube, or 50 Cent, right? People are starting to listen now. The Democrats are in full meltdown. So what does he do tonight? What do you call it, Cadillo?
Caudillo.
Is he Cadillo?
Or Caballero?
Or Caballero?
I think he's both. Genius of the and, not the tyranny of the or. He should bring in unrestricted warfare to bear in the debate. And I think, Steve, what you mentioned is totally spot on, which is the black American working class and the Latino American working class understand and have seen firsthand their rise in wages, rise in living quality, rise in standards, and improvement in the lives of their families. So their pocketbooks have been positively impacted, which has been a long reversal or overdue reversal over the last 20 years. So it's not surprising that both the Latino American men and the black American men will flock to President Trump and vote for him.
I tell you what, this will be this I think could be one of the big game changers that they're not thinking about, that this could happen. And coming out of Philadelphia, they came out with net 500,000 votes in 2016, and that's what they thought they were going to get 850. And we won the state by 42,000 votes. How do you both, before I turn to Raheem, how are you both Caballero and Cadillo at the same time? How do you do that? How do you pull off both the gentleman and the hammer?
Pinochet.
I thought you were going to say Perón. Pinochet.
No, in fact, what's funny is in Argentine media.
Here's the thing. Jack actually believes that. You know that.
I believe that too. What are you talking about? I'm a great fan of red wine. I love murdering a Chilean red. Come on. It's a great gag.
How do you do both?
See, President Trump's strength is slogans. He's got to bring the slogan to bear. And my suggestion to him is to go with 2020 is 1776. We got to unite the patriots. It's the battle lines are drawn. The moral lines are clear. The ethical boundaries have been set. It's uniting the American Patriot Party versus the DNCCP.
Okay, but I'll take that analogy and take it deeper, though. In 1776, the Patriot Party was 1/3. You had 1/3 that were Tories, 1/3 that were Patriots, and 1/3 that were in the middle. So if you say that you unite the Patriot Party, that's kind of what Trump's done. That's the deplorables. He's a hard 42 to 45, right? Depending on it, that doesn't quite get you there. That's why right now, as we sit, you got races in Arizona, you got races in North Carolina, you got races in Florida. And here's the thing. Last night, we should pull it for tomorrow. Don Lemon headed up my picture with the thing about the Lincoln Project. You know, they had the Mendoza line in baseball. They got the Bannon line, the 3 or 4%. That is playing out, and you see in Arizona. The reason this thing is not quite there for Trump in Arizona, you got Sidney McCain on TV in Maricopa County. They're hammering that ad nonstop. You got that Mormon faction out there. Romney announced yesterday, I didn't vote for Trump. That's a signal. He's like a cardinal in the church. He's one of the original founding families, right? That's a big. You got the Jeff Flake, Mormon. I tell you. And listen, AOC, glorious ACB, in the anti-abortion stand of the Mormons. The Mormons are probably one of the straightest of the Christian sects, right? As far as black and white, right? As far as, hey, this is right, that's wrong. Glorious ACB is home cooking, right? Because, hey, they don't mind The Handmaid's Tale, right? So just kidding. But that the Lincoln Project's had impact where you see time is being spent in Arizona or in places like North Carolina or in Florida, and particularly in the plus 65-year-olds that are uncertain. He's given an uncertain trumpet on the CCP virus, right? And a lot of these are establishment guys. They're more country club, and they just don't like the House style. That's where we got to pull back. That's the needle he's got to thread tonight between, I agree with you, the Patriots. But I got to tell you, I am not, and I've said this from the beginning. 16, we had a strategy, and the rallies worked. I'm not a rally guy now because I want those people out knocking doors. But saying that, I am blown away by the scale of the rallies and the intensity of the rallies. The one in Nevada the other day took my breath away. Some of these, like in Erie and things, they're doing these in 24 and 48 hours. This is like we did that Minnesota the last weekend. The scale of this, and I got to tell people that this is not going to go away. It's a real movement now, and the love of President Trump and the focus on Trump, and you know these talks are the speeches themselves don't quite have the anger. I would want to channel more of the heat into this moment because it's a moment of determination for the country. We're at an inflection point, and I would bring that more. I think the things are too chatty a little bit, and a little bit maybe for comedic effect. Yeah. And I want to see more heat. Of course, that's Bannon. I want to bring the apocalypse, right?
Well, and a lot of the internal polling suggests that Biden's problem in people's eyes is that he's incredibly weak, and he would be a weak leader. So I think that's why the president's probably going for mockery rather than intensity in these things. There's a thought process.
But there's nobody voting for Joe Biden. Listen to this again. This is Trump or anti-Trump. That's why there's no uncertainties. I agree with Kornacki on MSNBC. There's nobody that hasn't made their mind up, right? This is all about getting people out. This is motivational, right? Okay, let's take a quick break. Dr. Yan's going to be in. CNN tried to do a hit on the one and only Dr. Yan, Yiming Yan from Hong Kong University. who's been the leading edge of these reports. You've seen her on Tucker Carlson. You've seen her on Lou Dobbs, everywhere. She's going to be here in the War Room next, refuting CNN.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life. They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and get 2 for 1 low price, plus free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you a very special 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back. Here's when we know you got a great show. We can't even do cold opens because we got too many great guests. Another hero is going to join us in a second, Dr. Li Ming Yan from Hong Kong University. She's a defector from Communist China, and she joins today. Rudy Giuliani, and Liz Yore. Just a fabulous lineup. I want to go real quickly. We got a Frank Luntz update, Raheem.
We do. Frank Luntz has responded, has quote tweeted the War Room Pandemic Twitter account just now and said, "I'm not sure what the bombshell is here. I've known the Bidens since I taught Bo at UPenn in the early 90s. I've also dined in the Oval Office and ridden on Air Force One with President Trump. I've mentioned both of these things before." Now, what's really interesting about Frank Luntz's response is 2 things to me. Number one, he's actually put bullet points in his tweets, which means that he's really crafted this response, because it's not actually easy to get a bullet point onto Twitter. You've got to copy and paste it from an outside thing. But the second thing, the actual truth behind this is he's confirming the veracity of Hunter Biden's emails.
Thank you, Frank. That's another check. Not Russia.
Here's something else that he did, though. Let's remember this. He went on national television and he said that these emails were essentially a fake story. There was nothing in there. None of them could be proven. Here's the reality. You are speaking for a mainstream news organization, and you should have revealed that on several occasions you had emailed with Hunter Biden and that your emails would be found in the false trove of emails. You have betrayed your job and you have betrayed Fox News. I hope you'll make an apology to the audience. Perhaps you could do that in between your focus session tonight?
Yeah, by the way, also, he doesn't address the elephant in the room, which is the betrayal of the Republican Party, the conservative movement, in one of the biggest times, which is dumping on his client Paul Ryan in public and saying that Joe Biden, and obviously trying to curry favor, that's what he's trying to do. Okay, the lead story in the Financial Times today, the Financial Times of London, China steals a march on United States with COVID vaccine supply diplomacy. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow and the next day, but this gets to the whole thing of how is their economy coming back? How do they only have 2,000 dead, 3,000 dead? How do they, although the numbers are all lies, they're roaring back. Every newspaper in Europe is saying China set a standard. The way they roll is the way we want to roll. The United States is back on its hind foot. A hero that brought this forward, and now she's being attacked. She's reached the big leagues because CNN has got like a 5-author investigative report. Of course, she doesn't even make a headline. It's all me. Bannon's conspiracy theory starts to unravel. But when you read through the article, I don't see the unravel. I'm missing the unravel. Okay, it's an open secret. It came from either gain-of-function experiment or a biological weapons program. All the intelligence services can tell you that. I want to bring in now an American hero and a Chinese hero, Dr. Li Ming Yan from Hong Kong University, one of the greatest universities in the world, about the study of viruses, where she ran the lab. Jack Maxey, I want you to take it from here.
Dr. Yan, CNN wrote a kind of hit piece on you and also Steve Bannon, Milesguo, and they're trying to say that your paper is totally false and that you cite information that no one else can seem to capture. And as we, discussed when I called you up about this paper yesterday, it does seem to me that they're sort of short on real data points and more long on kind of an opinion. But I'd like for you, and I know that you were distressed by this thing and want to protect your reputation, and we want to protect it too. So one of the things that she talks about are copied passages from G News blogs that she says you cited in the paper, and who's this person, and that undermines the paper. You want to address that for us?
Okay, I want laugh. I say stupid work because they even didn't do at least the baby level fact check before they write the things. So the G News and the blogs they mentioned actually it's from my co-author Shu Kang, and he write it based on my analysis and my information delivered through Moodle from 18th January this year. And if you check more genius things, you will see the article I wrote anonymous on 25th January to show the comparison of genome between Zhoushan-bat coronavirus and SARS-CoV-2. I mean, I want to say that these are the basic things for the journalists, for the media. If they do a little bit work, they can work at least as a student in primary school. If not, the teacher will blame you for your poor quality homework.
I just want to say something about the 18th January because this is what piqued my interest in 16, 17. Her coming on Luda's show, these broadcasts on Luda's, this is CNN. You were 2.5 or 3 months away from even calling it a pandemic. You weren't even covering the story. And here she came out and the co-authors, the blog is obviously written by them. It didn't take a genius to understand that. They're not like stealing it from somebody else. It's their work. But it was her bravery to come forward at that time under, the cover because she couldn't totally get out of it. She left the country under enormous pressure a couple of months later as a hero to tell the world. If the world had paid attention to Dr. Li Ming Yan on the 18th of January on Luda's show, right, you wouldn't have had 1 million dead today. You wouldn't have had 200,000 in the United States. The Chinese Communist Party and the World Health Organization were bald-faced lying. Where's your story there, CNN, about the text, the press release, and the text from the World Health Organization saying, hey, we talked to Chinese officials, senior Chinese officials. No human-to-human transmission, no community spread. She had the courage to come out and tell the world that is a lie. That is a lie, and risked her life to do it. CNN, you are disgusting. The whole crew of you are disgusting. Go investigate that, guys, because we're going to grind you down on this thing, okay? You're a bunch of phonies. All you do is protect the elites of this world. You're protecting the Chinese Communist Party because CNN's in business with them. You're protecting the Chinese Communist Party, okay? This woman is a hero, and the people with her are heroes, and Luda's a hero because on the 18th of January, they told the world exactly what was going on. Jack Maxey, Dr.
100%. I mean, I think one thing that I can't believe that CNN never mentions, and it's something that the American people have to understand, and you said it well, Steve, this woman is here because if she was back in China, she'd be dead right now.
Be disappeared. So, what they said, she'd be disappeared.
If all she's doing is talking nonsense, why would she be in fear of her life? Right? Wouldn't people just ridicule her?
If she's talking nonsense, why would they arrest her mother and have her in a jail in Beijing? If she was talking nonsense, why did they roll up all her friends? And why do the other authors have to be on the nom de guerres? They can't even come forward because their families would be immediately taken. CNN, you gutless cowards. This is what you devolve to. I detest you people. Okay? I detest you. You know why? You go after the good people in the world that are trying to stand up to the oligarchs. They're trying to stand up to the dictators. And you think you're going to beat her down? Like she said, you're like little children in school. Right? Dr. Yan, look, go ahead and get down. Get off my soapbox for a second. Get me worked up here, man.
Well, now, Dr. Yan, I want you to respond to Dr. Nancy Connell at Johns Hopkins University. Now, she came out and said she didn't like your paper, but she never really gave any scientific evidence to back up why she didn't like it. It's almost as if these scientists are playing a grade school, better you than me or some sort of nonsense, but they're not actually telling anyone what are the specific failures inside your paper. Could you respond to that?
Of course. I already mentioned at the end of my second report that like Dr. Nancy Connell and also like the Dr. Roberto Gallo, because they have spent some time to write some also poor quality things to try to dismiss my first report. So to respect their energy, I will also publish another response point to point to tell them how to read the report in a scientific way and also help them to train their team members better in academic way. I think they already respect my academic training is excellent in even the CNN report, right? You cannot deny that. And also, let's talk about COVID-19. When it happened in Wuhan, where are you? When WHO tried to cover up with Chinese Communist Party, where are you? When NIH and all these peer-reviewed journals spread this misinformation to mislead the people, to harm the global health, where are you? So why now you stand out and just to blame me using empty words? And another question, where are the Chinese Communist Party experts? They publish so many COVID-19 papers in the world. Where is Professor Malik Paris and also Professor Liu Peng in Hong Kong U? Why cannot they stand up to talk to me in a scientific way? Let's show our evidence. Talk about the fact. Don't try to hide it. Who are you working for?
Dr. Yan, I don't know if I could defend you any better than you defend yourself. And it's a classic thing, right? Where was CNN when we knew that human-to-human transmission was happening? Where was CNN when Lancet and several other, quote, respected scientific journals were providing false information that put human lives at risk, that was clearly motivated by a disinformation campaign led by the Communist Chinese people? Why is it that CNN never looks behind the curtain? We're watching the same way they treat the Communist Chinese is the same way they're treating the Biden family right now.
100%, because they protect the elite.
But this would be pretty easy to solve, right? Dr. Sanjay Gupta should come on this show and he can debate Dr. Yan. And let's see.
Let's have an open challenge.
Let's
we
see.
want Gupta live, and she's prepared to do a live one with Gupta. That's what we got to push for. Real quickly, Dr. Yan, and we're looking forward to your report. We'll get more into this with you in the next couple of days, maybe over the weekend. But I got to go to the Financial Times real quickly. They're talking about China's COVID vaccine supply, that they're going to push it out throughout the world right now. Give us your assessment in about a minute and a half of what do you think of the Chinese Communist Party's vaccine program?
let me tell you first, don't trust their vaccine. As the other thing, please don't trust them. If not, you will be regretful. The other thing is the Chinese vaccine actually still under the clinical trial 3. But their data is amazingly 100% perfect according to their publication. I mean, do you believe that? If you believe that, get it. If not, I mean, you should learn from us Chinese people. We don't trust them.
So you're saying the Chinese themselves think this thing is not to be trusted?
They can. No, let me tell it briefly that they can just sell you something just contained in a vial and also just sitting in water. Do you understand, sir? So that means this is nothing for you. But they tell you that it's vaccine, and then they stop to confirm the cases. So you will say, oh, they get vaccine, but they have no cases increased. So that means it's successful vaccine. And also the other vaccines they give you may be harmful. Don't trust them, as I explained before.
We've got to bounce, but you were the first one before the New York Post got taken down. You got taken down when you came on Tucker that night. Do you have is your Twitter back up, or they shut you down and take it all off?
Oh, I have the second Twitter account now. So Dr. Li Mengyan first online. You can find it from War Room Pandemic and also Moodle. But the other thing is just in this morning, because I fight back with CNN, I got the hacker attacking, try to steal this account. Anyway, now it's still alive, and I'm still alive. I'm not scared of Chinese Communist Party. So don't try to make me scared of you.
Dr. Yan, you're a hero. We love you and thank you so much. Look forward to having you on the next couple of days. I want to go through this in depth and really refute, and we're going to push to get the Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Yan debate. Okay. Hashtag War and Pandemic. Everybody in the live stream, let us know what you think. We're going to try to get Matthew Tierman. He's the investigative reporter of Peter Schweitzer. They've taken Bevan Cooney, and they've put him in the, we don't know where he is. Bureau of Prisons got him. Back in a moment with Tierman.
So, Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need Eugenics? After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
Frank, so does Eugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. My workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
Frank. So, say I knew someone who should try Eugenics. How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Eugenics by texting BUFF to 42424. Its unique formula is powered by testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. Text BUFF to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Eugenics Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Eugenics Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's BUFF to 42424.
Feel like you live a lot of your life online? The average person is connected almost 7 hours a day. And all that shopping, banking, browsing, and sharing could mean exposing your personal information. In fact, 64% of adults admit to risking online privacy for convenience. Is it any wonder that 26% of people had malware on one of their devices? Or that there's a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds? Your digital life may be in lots of places, but there's one place to help keep it safe. Norton 360 with LifeLock. With security to help block hackers from your devices, a VPN to help keep your online activity private, and LifeLock identity theft protection. Now, you can get up to 25% off your first year of Norton 360 with LifeLock with promo code TV offer. Call to start your membership or visit lifelock.com/TV offer.
If you're over 50, imagine you could turn back the clock on your stiff, achy joints 10, even 20 years. Imagine you could do this without products that just temporarily hide the symptoms and may have side effects. Imagine no more. Get your complimentary sample of Instaflex Advanced just by texting JOINT to 231231. Instaflex Advanced is different because it targets the root cause of joint soreness and stiffness. It doesn't just cover up symptoms. Instead, it bathes your joints in its unique combination of 5 key natural ingredients found in no other product. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies. Instaflex Advanced is so powerful, you could have better knees in just 1 week. Maybe that's why it's #1 at GNC. But you can only get your complimentary sample by texting JOINT to 231231. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of Instaflex pain cream with its exclusive oxygenated oil for fast-acting relief from the pain of arthritis, backaches, and sore muscles, absolutely free. Text JOINT to 231231.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
We've just got too much news to cover today. That's why we got to rip through this. I'm going to have a couple segments with Liz Jordan, and a couple segments Dr. Young. Couldn't do it. Matthew Tierman is the investigative reporter with Peter Schweitzer, is driving a big vertical in this story. That's the 26,000 emails from Bevan Cooney, who came out the other day and absolutely blasted the Bidens out of the water, and it's stunning, the revelations in his. And all of a sudden, he's missing. He's taken out of his prison he's in jail. He's a Biden partner. He's in jail in Oregon. Next thing you know, you can't find him. Matthew Tierman now joins us on the phone from Chicago. Matthew, walk us through what is going on here. Why is the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the Bureau of Prisons reports to them? Last time I looked, Bill Barr reports a guy named Donald J. Trump. Why, in the heat of this, can we not find Bevan Cooney?
Well, thanks for having me, Steve. He dropped off the grid for a little bit there yesterday. They took him out of the facility that he was at in Oregon, which is, it's as minimum security as it got. It was, white-collar guys, not long stays, open door sort of thing. Very, not, what you see on TV. They take him out of that the morning after, 11 a.m., after I was on Laura Ingraham, which obviously went out widely to the whole nation about the case, that he gave Schweitzer and I these emails. And his family didn't know where he was. They'd spoken to him earlier in the day, and then they couldn't get a hold of him because that's the kind of facility he was in. He could actually talk to his family. But they find out later in the day that he was moved to another facility, and he was put in solitary, 5x8 cell, small frosted window, and they tell him you're only going to be out an hour a day outside at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So this looks like retribution. And as you know, whether Barr's a great AG or not, there's a lot of people between the top and the bottom. The guards are very nice to Cooney. They seem to be all on the right and are thrilled with what he's done and having exposed all this stuff.
Hold on. I just want to make sure. And I want to tweet this out. I want to make sure I understand this, and I do not want to put words in your mouth. Are you telling me, for a guy that came forward and put out information and relevant information to the most pressing concern of the American people, the way in measuring of a presidential candidate, you're telling me they took him out of a minimum security prison, he's now in solitary confinement, and he's not unable to communicate with you or Peter Schweitzer, the two investigative reporters driving this?
Well, he's been able to communicate a little bit. They've gotten him. The guards have been pretty good to him, and he's talking to his family, who I'm talking to. So I'm kind of contacting him by way of a family member that I'm having regular communication with. But yeah, no, it looks like retribution because it looks like people in the system were not happy that he was sharing all this stuff with me and me with Peter, and us getting out all these stories about China and Russia and Ukraine and Kazakhstan. I mean, it's 27,000 emails and 7 years of activity that he was involved in. And he felt that it was imperative that the American people see this. This guy took a massive risk. He was supposed to be out in 1 month, serving, a 14-month sentence, and here he is working through my contact that he was in there with, sharing this stuff and making sure that the American people see it, because his view is, I saw this stuff firsthand, and it is absolutely a shock to the system for him to see that Biden could be in the Oval Office knowing what he knows, seeing what he's seen in China, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Kazakhstan. So this guy's an amazing guy and a patriot who just took a huge risk, and now they threw him in solitary for, potentially the next month or two, and they've already pushed back his release date 2 weeks. They could do that. What I'm hoping is that this is transitional, and they've moved him into solitary so the feds can pick him up, because this guy is a walking, talking evidence dossier that has not yet been opened, read, and learned from on the most important salient issues of the day. The feds have what looks to be an active money laundering investigation, Fox News reported, transnational. That's the story that I that broke 3 or 4 days ago with laundering money money for a Russian oligarch, mob-tied Russian oligarch, Yelena Baturina. So this guy, I'm hoping they pick him up. I made a clarion call on Laura last night that somebody with subpoena power, whether it's the U.S. Attorney in Oregon or in D.C. or the Baltimore field office of the FBI where this money laundering investigation was going on, somebody's got to go there and talk to this guy because he has got a lot of information that is absolutely important right now with, 10, 12 days to go.
Look, you're a highly regarded guy in the conservative movement, and you do so much other stuff with Veritas and all this other stuff. Have you made contact with you've got senior level relationships? Have you made contact and say, hey, somebody at the DOJ, somebody at the Bureau of Prisons, somebody's got to get on top of this? I mean, this is ridiculous. Have you reached out to people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, nonstop. And the response I've gotten is that we are aware of this. But, I'm an independent guy. I'm not a government agent of any sort. I'm a journalist, so anybody in government gets a little nervous telling me too much. Nobody's going to open up, their hand of cards to me to show me exactly what they're doing. So what I got to do is keep doing, the stuff that we've done for years, which is make noise, highlight, shine the light, make transparent, and force action by getting groundswells. And, in Twitter, I've been putting up the emails from this case that we talked about over the last 4 or 5 days on this Russian money laundering. Now that it shows that there's an FBI investigation to transnational money laundering, it's highly relevant. So, I'm keeping to put out emails. Schweitzer's covering a lot of stuff on China. I think Raheem and the National Pulse are going to cover some more stuff shortly. I sent him some documents. There's all these different concentric circles of criminality that go right back to the Biden crime family. And I know that there are federal investigators who are looking into stuff, and I just hope that they move their ass and do it quick enough that we can, expose this so that it actually matters.
What's your Twitter handle? Some people follow you right now.
At Matthew Tyrmand, MatthewTyrmand.
Okay, we'll post it. You're a hero. We'll talk to you after the show. Fantastic.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Matthew Tyrmand.
Bye.
Okay, Raheem, what's on National Pulse today? What else is happening here, Jack? And I want Dave. We got about a minute and a half.
Yeah, we'll have Thomas Farnan on the show this afternoon, as well as Ryan Williams, who's the president of the Claremont Institute. There's a lot more information about the what's going to happen in between November the 3rd and January the 20th, and we'll talk about that.
And you're also working this. You're working this story too.
I have got a long day ahead. And remember, we've got the debate tonight, live coverage on Real America's Voice as well from 8 p.m.
So, Ramaswamy, what is Trump supposed to do in the debate tonight? 30 seconds.
See, the American people don't want a credit card machine installed outside the Oval Office. And the president's got to make clear that that's what they risk with the Biden presidency. And then we also don't want to be caged and captured by Dragon King Xi Exotic. So we want to be a free people. That's who we are. So that's the message he's got to drive home.
Jack Maxey, where are we in this investigation?
We are in this investigation in, I would say, the first inning. There's so much stuff, Steve.
You're saying we're top of the first.
Top of the first.
Top of the first. This thing's going to go on well past November 3rd, whatever the outcome is. Win, lose, or draw. And in a draw where we fight this thing all the way to Inauguration Day, a lot's going to come out.
And it indicts them in their own words. This is the swamp. It's going to be the damage is going to be from this blast. It's going to be bigger.
There's no
think.
conspiracy, but there's no coincidence. Don't think that Bevan Cooney is in solitary confinement away from people that could break this story in the next 10 days. That is not a coincidence. Okay, we're going to be on this. Raheem will be at 3. National Pulse will be doing the coverage tonight. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Dave, thanks for co-hosting the first anniversary show.